Thanks, Rajashri. Good morning to you, and I welcome you to this short discussion. Mainly, we wanted to discuss about NEET and related questions from a lot of candidates. And probably I want to start with understanding you. Maybe tell something about you so that our candidates understand what you are doing and how you are involved with NEET coaching and all.
Well, good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Manikwel, sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It's my pleasure to work with you, sir. And I would also like to thank Mr. Karthikeyan, my fellow junior. I am Rajashri, and I am doing my third year MBBS in Government Keelpark Medical College, Chennai. And I was a state board student for 2 years. Till 10th, I was a CBSE student, and then I changed to state board. And my cutoff couldn't fetch me an MBBS seat. So I took a year off and prepared for my NEET exams. And I scored 94 out of 180 in chemistry, NEET chemistry.
Okay.
And that's with 3 months of preparation.
Okay.
That's it.
Right. Great, Rajashri. So, when was it? You were in, when did you take the exam? 2017?
2016 is when I passed out. I took the NEET exam that time too, but I got only 250 that time. And all I could get into was deemed universities and private colleges. So my father said it's better to take a year off and prepare it for another next year. So.
Okay, right. Okay, but right now, how you are involved in NEET? Are you still involved in NEET somewhere, doing coaching for candidates, or how you are involved in it?
I'm not like practically involved in any institutions or something like that, but I take classes for my sisters because they both are preparing for NEET, and I have been doing that for the past 1 year. And other than that, I'm teaching government students and students in government aided schools through a group called Nalam Viruvigal. So Nalam Viruvigal, there is a group called Nalam Viruvigal Teaching Crew, and we have been doing this particular year. And we have plans to extend it to the next year too.
Okay, so it's a volunteer group who are all interested in
taking classes. We just wanted to share the knowledge that we gain.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. At least those who have done it before coming back and contributing, right? This is where the problem is normally. I also advise a lot of parents or students who go through all these difficulties in NEET. I tell them, come back next year, maybe help other candidates, which very rarely they come back. They go through all these difficulties and then they disappear once they get the seat, and then they disappear. Good to see like candidates like you and Karthikeyan, that you are all like coming back, and I'm even more happy that there is a group of volunteers in addition to you all. Yeah, that would be
thank you, sir.
Right, wonderful to see that. Okay, let me come to this question. The first question I want to ask, okay, this, I know you might be conducting classes for various subjects, maybe physics, chemistry, biology. Since I already spoke to Karthikeyan about biology, maybe I want to talk to you about chemistry. Maybe let's focus on chemistry today. How do you rate NEET chemistry in terms of difficulty compared to NEET physics and NEET biology? How do you rate it?
Since I was a state board student, I found NEET biology more difficult than NEET chemistry and physics, because in NEET biology, all the chapters, topics, everything was new. Whereas in case of physics and chemistry, we had the same equations, formulas, everything were almost same. So I found NEET biology completely new. So I focus mainly on NEET biology, and I thought even with last minute preparation, state board students can gain decent marks in chemistry and physics. So if you want me to rate in terms of difficulty, then for a state board student, biology is a bit difficult.
Okay, but just a side question, because when you took the textbooks were slightly different. Now I think the last year or so, the state board has completely revamped the entire curriculum, and it seems like a lot of changes has happened. Is it still applicable, or there are a lot of changes?
No, right now it's completely different. When I was, the portions were very less in case of state board biology, but I mean, it was different. Only there was this chapter called human physiology. That was the only chapter. It we had as a common chapter. But right now, almost every chapter in NCERT have been included in state board books, and state board books are now far more better than NCERT books. In case of chemistry too, state board books are far more better than NCERT books.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. Right. Okay. Coming back to these standard questions, which I think everybody has this, maybe like, I don't know, is NCERT textbooks sufficient in case if I want to prepare for a NEET chemistry? If I just read NCERT textbook, is that sufficient? Do I need to buy another book or, right? Say, for example, I cannot spend money. I cannot go for coaching. I cannot buy additional textbooks. Is just NCERT is enough?
In case of NEET chemistry, if you particularly take organic chemistry, NCERT is a bit lacking because there will be very less number of equations in that. But if you compare it with state board, it is very easy because they will make our work easier. Everything will be explained in a detailed manner, and we had no issues when I actually studied. State board books was more easy for me than NCERT books. And if you are already enrolled into any private institution, their study materials will be more than enough for your NEET preparation. But if not, you will mostly need to buy any reference books like comprehensive textbooks. And other than that, second-hand books are also available for this study materials prepared by talented professionals who know what to focus on and what to omit. So.
Okay.
In case of state board students, it's better to use their own materials, like their own state board books are more than sufficient along with NCERT, because NCERT is good in terms of physical chemistry and inorganic chemistry. But in terms of organic chemistry, I would suggest state board books.
Okay. So do you suggest any other book? Should I buy something like preparation books or something?
There are so many preparatory manuals, like in case of, there are some famous publications like Arihant and GTG, MTG.
Okay.
Sorry, it's not GTG, it's MTG.
MTG. Okay.
MTG was actually good. It had more questions and everything was explained. The answers were well explained at the back of each question. So I would suggest MTG and Arihant.
Okay. Is there any specific book name, or is it just MTG publications is fine? Is there any specific, because even the publications, they have, I think, a lot of books, right? Do you know any particular book?
But for NEET preparation, if you are going to write any CBSE board exams, then it's fine to get books. But for NEET chemistry, it's more than enough to buy any preparatory manuals, like the only main points will be focused in that. So it's better to buy question papers, because every book with question papers will have answers at the back. So when you look through it, you will be getting a better understanding rather than going through all the topics. It's better to focus on what is needed.
Right. Okay. Now coming to this question, like, how do I prepare for NEET chemistry? Is there any particular way I need to go through, or is there any particular strategy that will work?
Yes, sir. With my personal experience, I'm saying that first complete organic chemistry, because that has the highest weightage, and then move on to physical chemistry and then to inorganic. Because inorganic is more of facts, and we need a lot of memorizing in that. So if you are pushing it to the back, it's you are at an advantage, because you will be able to remember it better at the last moment. So always have inorganic at the last, go with organic, complete it, because it's more of analyzing, and then move to physical and then to inorganic. This is the first point I want to share. The next thing is pay more attention to the basics of all the three sections, like basic principles of organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, whereas in physical is something different. But paying more attention to the basics is very important. So you don't have to know all the naming reactions in organic chemistry, but knowing all the basics is very important. So even though you are not able to do complicated sums, knowing the basics will help you a lot in competitive exam preparation. The third point I want to share is, if you have lots of time, like more than 6 months time for preparing chemistry, then study everything and practice everything. So when you practice, you will know that what are the topics you are good, comfortable, and confident with. So you can pay more attention to the topics that you're comfortable with, that rather than wasting time in topics that you're not good at. So this will also help you in the long run. For example, your friend might be good at some other topic. He might say that is easier. But unless you practice and experience it yourself, you will never know what is good for you or what you are comfortable at. So if you have a what much more time for preparation, then you can do this. But with less time, there's something else.
Okay, coming back to where you stopped, actually, that's what my next question is. If I'm just starting to prepare, like right now, like we have about 1 month left, I think July 26th is the exam. So it's approximately about 30 days or maybe 35 days we still have. How should I prepare now? If somebody has tell me that, sir, I have not studied so far, I have not touched the chemistry book. Yeah, I have prepared for the board exams, but I have not studied anything in relation to NEET. What do you think? What kind of advice do you give them? How do they use this time effectively to get as much marks as possible? Of course, they cannot get 180 out of 180 in this time, but at least if they want to score a reasonable, decent kind of score, how do they maximize this in this period?
With just 1 month of time left, I would like to say that you have to start with preparing topic-wise questions, and following the blueprint is a must. If there, because there's only a limited time left now, following the blueprint will always help. The blueprint is not actually the exact number of questions will not be given in that, but the approximate number of questions that will appear from each section and each topic will be mentioned in it. So, and also previous year's question papers will also help you to know the different types of questions that will be asked in a particular chapter. So if you are practicing all the types of questions, then you will be able to get full marks in that entire chapter. So usually only 2 or 3 questions will be asked from each chapter. So if you are good at preparing everything, all the types of questions, if you are thorough at, then you will be able to score full marks in that chapter. In case of organic, 15 to 20 questions will appear from organic chemistry, whereas in case of inorganic chemistry, it will be 13 to 16 questions. The number of questions will always go like this. And physical chemistry will have 10 to 15 questions. So as you can see, highest number of questions appear from organic chemistry. And in that too, the basics will always occupy more than 10 questions. So it's better to focus on the basics of organic chemistry first. And then in case of inorganic chemistry, 8 to 9 questions will appear only from the block elements, like S, P, D, and F block elements will comprise of 8 to 9 questions. So if you are good at memorizing, you can go for inorganic chemistry and complete it first, because you have a higher chance of scoring well in that. And since you have only very few hours for preparing chemistry per day, I would like to say that never ever experiment new chapters or start new chapters, because it will only add up to your stress. And always stick to chapters that you are comfortable and good at. Don't start new chapters, because it will never help you. It will only depress you.
Correct. I agree. Okay, one more question. How do I handle questions that I'm not confident about? Say during the exam, I have some questions, right? Most of us like in a situation where I'm not sure about these questions. If it is a normal exam, I don't mind it. But in this exam, there is a negative mark and there is a penalty for the questions. So what should I do now? Should I leave it, or should I take a guess and go for it? And in case if you advise guess, is there any strategy for guessing the answers? Right? I know whether it is right to ask or not, but let me try to see from your experience or from your suggestions.
This question is actually difficult, because when I was a student, I had difficulty in this, because but from my experience, I can share a few points with you. First is that if you are not confident with the question, but you are able to eliminate 2 options confidently, then you can definitely go for that question, take a chance and answer it.
Right.
because the probability of it being the right answer is nearly 50%.
Higher.
So
Yeah.
in those questions, you can always take a chance and answer it. So this is
Right.
the first point I want to share. And the second point is that there are few students who have asked me this question frequently. They will be able to answer only 20 to 25 questions in chemistry. And if they want to improve their score, they want to answer 5 more questions, then what are the questions that I should take up? For this question, I would like to say that it's better to take physical chemistry questions, because it's more of easy. If you know a simple single equation or simple formula, then you will be able to answer those questions. So if you want to improve your score, or even if you want to add up to your score, then better take questions from physical chemistry, because that will be more easier, because it's more related to physics. And if you're at least confident with very few formulas, then you can take up physical chemistry rather than organic and inorganic, because inorganic is completely memorizing, and organic is more of analyzing. So it's better to go with physical chemistry. And the third point I want to say is, if you have no idea what that question is, never ever take a chance, leave it, because it's always going to be the wrong answer. And the
Okay.
final one will be, there will be few questions like this. 3 options will be belonging to one category, and this one option will mostly be the odd one out. You can always take chance and answer it, because most of the time, like
Okay.
80% of the time, that odd one out will be the answer. So those questions, you have a higher chance of it to be the right answer. So you can take chance and answer it.
Okay.
So these are the few strategies I would like to share.
So there are a few questions that has come in the YouTube chat. I just want to share the questions, maybe see whether you can answer those. Uh, this question, okay, how to make chemistry interesting?
I have experienced this a lot, because if you are preparing for a competitive exam, you will be reading the same lesson, same topic again and again, practicing it again and again. And in the due course of time, you will lose interest in that, because you have been doing that for 1 year or 2 years time. So you will lose interest in that. For you, if you want to maintain your practice, or if you want to sustain your interest in that subject, it's better to follow notes. If you follow notes, it will make your time consumption less, and it will also be easier for you to review it at the last moment, so you won't lose interest, because you don't have to stress yourself to go through the entire lesson, rather than look at the points that you have already prepared and confident with. So preparing notes will help you sustain the interest. The second point is that going through YouTube videos, because there are few YouTube, like in case of organic chemistry, there are few YouTube videos I would like to suggest.
Yeah.
Some equations might be difficult for you. You won't even understand what concept it is based on. So for those equations, there will be experiments in YouTube channels. So if you go
Okay.
through it, you will know what actually is happening in industry side, or what actually happens in a chemistry lab. So when you go through it, you will have a better understanding of the subject, and you won't
Right.
forget it easily. So
Right.
it's better to go through YouTube videos and make notes. These are the two points I would like to suggest, because practicing it will always make students depressed.
Okay, just touching on that, you said there are some YouTube videos which candidates can see. Is there any particular link do you have, or can they just search YouTube and try to find?
There isn't any particular YouTube
Okay.
channel I would like to suggest, because
Okay.
every YouTube channel will be good at something or the
Yeah.
other.
Okay. Got it.
So, but there are few apps they can use, like Merit Nation. Yeah, I will be
Okay.
suggesting that Merit Nation is a good app to use, and Byju's app is also there, but it's a private institution, so I
Yeah.
think they would like. But there are few free subscriptions for that too. So
Okay.
if you want to get a better view or better videos of better quality, then you can go for Byju's app. Then
Okay.
in case of any website, then I would suggest there is a website called neatprep.com.
Okay. Okay.
So they have more number of question papers, mock papers. So it will be good to practice in that. But there isn't any particular website I want to suggest, but you can go through everything because everything has its own benefits.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, there are lots and lots of information available online. Okay, I think this question you have answered, but let's emphasize on this. Which chapters require extra preparations and last minute glance points? I think you have answered, but maybe just again, let's re-emphasize that point.
So for last minute glance points, because at last moment you will always find difficulty in remembering those parts that requires memorizing. So it's better to go with inorganic chemistry first. So inorganic, that too mainly the block elements. So at the last moment, if you have a glance through it, your chance of getting a right answer in the question paper is more, because you will be able to remember it better. So you will be able to reciprocate it in the paper. So it's better to go with inorganic chemistry than have a glance through the basic formulas in physical chemistry, because as I always said, the basics will always form the highest number of questions in competitive exam. So if you are very strong at basics, have a glance through it again, because it will always help a lot when you're appearing for an exam. So basics and what I said before is the main point I want to suggest.
Okay.
And extra preparation, like some chapters require extra preparation and it varies from person to person. But the thing is, there are few chapters like this where it will have the highest weightage, but we won't be interested, or we will find it difficult to answer questions in that. So if you have such question, or if you have any chapters like that, it's better to go through only the basics of that chapter. Don't stress yourself with complicated questions. Leave it and go through the basics, and focus on what you are already confident with, rather than focusing on complicated sums and getting stressed up and demotivated. It's better to focus on easy chapters. Even though the weightage is less, it's better to focus on them.
Okay, so yeah, towards the exam, as the exam gets closer, there is no point of stressing out yourself. Just focus on what is your stronger points, and then try to maybe make it whatever you are stronger even more stronger, right? Okay, one more question. I think in NEET exam, will they give atomic mass of the required elements specified in the numericals?
The thing is, I have seen question papers and there are few questions where the atomic masses will be mentioned in the brackets. But the thing is, I have also seen questions where it won't be mentioned. So it's not always, you can't take a chance and leave those questions, because just because you don't know the atomic mass, we will feel wrong. So it's better to learn few atomic masses. Like there are very few elements that are asked frequently, like the most commonly asked elements will be sodium, chlorine, potassium, copper, gold, and silver. These are the 6 commonly asked elements. So if you are able to remember at least these 6 atomic masses, then you have a better chance of answering questions regarding that. So memorizing 6 atomic mass won't be that difficult for you.
Yeah. True. Yeah. So to answer that, yes, some questions may have, some questions may not have. It all depends on your luck in the exam, right? Yeah. So it's better to be prepared, assuming that they won't give it. Be prepared. Yeah. If they give
you have always to be prepared for the worst.
Yeah. Right. That's true. I understand that. Okay. There is one last question. I don't know whether you can answer. In fact, I have no idea. Okay, maybe you can give in case if you have some information. Will there be any reduction in syllabus for 2021 NEET due to COVID virus?
This question has a lot of uncertainty, because unless we have an official announcement from the government, we can't take chance of leaving any portions out. True. So it's better to prepare everything. But I think there might be a reduction in the number of questions appearing from the difficult subjects. There might be some reduction. Rather than asking questions in difficult topics, they might shift towards easier topics where students can score a better mark. Okay. This is also uncertain, but there might be a chance. And since AIIMS and JIPMER is also included under NEET, the standard might increase or decrease depending on that.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's a lot of uncertainties. It's all opinions we can have rather than any official information.
yes.
Only official information, either I think NTA or the ministry has to announce, and I don't think it's all guesswork right now for
Yes.
2021, right? We are not even certain about what is going to happen about 2020.
Yeah, I
2021
still
is-
have doubt whether the NEET will take place on the designated date on July 26th.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, anyway, let's not confuse the students right now. Let's them assume that it's going to happen on July 26th. Yes, we all have the doubts, but let's believe that it is going to happen on July 26th and hope that within the next 1 month things become normal, or at least back to better days. Okay, do you want to say anything else as a closing remark to questions, any kind of advice or any kind of thing you want to share with them?
Yes, sir. I have actually prepared few points
Yeah, please
that
go
I
ahead.
didn't
Yes.
do for my preparation, but I would like
Okay.
to share this topic, share
Okay,
this
please.
points with them.
Please.
The thing is, prepare notes while learning, because I didn't do that. But preparing notes will always help you at the last moment. So preparing notes is better to do. And the next thing is, create a realistic timetable. I have seen my friends like in a 24 hours day, they will be like 6 hours for sleep, and the remaining 18 hours I am going to study. That's something unrealistic. So always prepare a realistic timetable and stick to it, because if you're not able to follow something unrealistic, then you will be depressed because you're not able to follow them. So always prepare a realistic timetable and stick to it, and you will be more motivated to do that in the future. So create a realistic timetable. And the thing is, when you're preparing for a competitive exam, taking regular breaks is important. It should never exceed 20 minutes, but it should never be less than 5 minutes. So this is the duration. This is a minimum amount I would like to suggest, because taking regular breaks is very important. And practice mock tests as much as possible. Take a full portion test, because that's when you will know how to maintain time or manage time efficiently. So always practice mock tests. And I would suggest this point again, because don't follow too many books, because it's only going to confuse you.
Yes,
Never follow
yes.
too many books. The maximum you can follow is 3 to 4 books, but not more than that. So if you're going to follow too many books, you will never remember what you actually studied at the first place. So, and the final thing I want to say is, have a positive attitude towards everything. I remember what my dad said to me when I took a year off. He said that if you are settling for things that you have in front of you, you will never know what you actually deserved at the first place. So always take chance. If you have a chance, always take it and go for it. Never think that this is going to be the wrong path, or I don't know what is going to happen next. So better take a chance, live your life, go for your goal. So don't see it as a negative thing. Always have a positive attitude on your life. That's what I want to say. And all the best for all the future medicos who are preparing for the exam. I hope you all do best in your exams.
Thanks, Rajashri. Wonderful. Nice talking to you. Thanks for your time.
Yes, so thanks for actually letting me have this interview. I'm actually so glad to work with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here.
Sure. I hope the candidates will find this video very useful. Once again, thanks.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot for this.
Okay. See you soon in some other discussion. Okay. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, sir. Bye.